What is happening? It is Friday the 13th of April.
Friday the 13th.
And we are going to get the shirt for the wedding from Stars. That is the game plan for tonight. And then tomorrow, Tabi wants to go to this yoga show.
The Toronto yoga show. And we're gonna see Bella.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do the one class. It's only half an hour, but it's in the garden section. It's a floor session because we get free passes. And it's about yoga for athletes. It's gonna probably work on flexibility and like our hip flexors. What Tyler needs because he can't reach his back. I gotta drop these off.
I can reach my back all the way here. And there. Reached the back. So
Ow.
We will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. No, I didn't.
Everything out of my hand.
Alright, so we got the shirt. Sorry, the lighting is a little Blair Witch project right now. But got the shirt. It was Horse brand, slim fit, but that's good. Still need to figure out what we're gonna do for the belt, and then I'm trying to find some sort of like seamless underwear for under the linen pants, just because like they are like tight fitting in the legs, so any sort of like so any sort of like seam in my boxers or anything just kind of like shows through, and it looks weird having this like wrinkle line in the pants. So been on the look for something for that. We checked out like Lululemon, we checked out Sport Check and that, but we haven't really found anything yet, so we've got to figure that out. And then I also have to find some suspenders, and then everything will be good to go. But got the shirt. It is back there. Can't see anything, but got the shirt. And now we're pretty tired. It's like a bit after 8, and Tabi wants to be up early to go to the yoga thing in Toronto tomorrow, which is gonna be at least an hour away. So
and check out
yeah, and check out the Halton Hills outlet, even though it's not really outlet pricing, but yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything for tonight. We'll check in with you again tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Good night. I'm gonna go to sleep now.
So, quick update. They actually gave us the wrong shirt. The guy took it to iron it and either grabbed the wrong one at the counter or, I don't know, lost it back when he was ironing it. So,
and we have too much faith in people that we didn't check it ourselves.
Yeah, so we gotta freaking drive back there and see if we can get the right shirt now.
And
so
they close in half an hour.
Yeah, and they close really soon. So we're gonna go see if we can actually get the right shirt. All right, so we made it back. It's 9 o'clock now. Well, they actually didn't have the right shirt there. I guess there's a twill finish and a satin finish in that shirt. And so we were given the satin finish in a shirt that replaced the old one, the old satin one in a different brand. And there's a twill finish in the shirt as well, which is like the newer style, and that's the one that we actually wanted. So they didn't have my size in, so we had to get that ordered in, so it should be in sometime next week. But we got it all sorted out, so yeah. So the shirt will be here shortly. And now, I don't know what the plan is. We still have to practice our dance. And we were in the middle of an episode of Gotham, which is a wicked show. And yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna do for the rest of the night, but this is it for tonight's vlog, and we'll see you again in the morning. So thank you for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye. What is happening? Good morning, everyone. So it is about 8:30 in the morning. Just finished up a workout. I did basically like a home gym variation of the full body workout from the wedding shredding program. Like always, if you don't have that, just click the link in the description below. You can get that for free. But now I'm just about to get my breakfast ready, and today, being Saturday, is actually my refeed day. So I'm not sure if I've already talked about this on here or not. I think I've mentioned it, but I didn't really go in detail about refeeds and what their purpose is and what they actually are. So I figured I would just take a minute or two and just kind of go over, you know, what a refeed is and what the purpose of including refeeds are. So essentially, a refeed, you'll hear a lot of people talk about something like a cheat day, and that's basically where, you know, they just take a day off from their diet and they just eat whatever they want. But I'm really not a fan of that, especially if you have a competition coming up or you're trying to, you know, dial in your conditioning for a specific date. Having those cheat days, yes, it's nice for a mental break, but there's absolutely no control there, and it's very, very easy in one day to completely eat up and overeat your entire deficit from the week before, essentially eliminating any of your progress you made throughout that entire week and making that whole week of suffering through dieting completely pointless. So what a refeed is, it's basically a day of structured overfeeding, primarily coming from carbohydrates. So instead of just going off the walls and just eating whatever the hell you want, you slightly reduce your protein and fats, and then you shoot your carbs up. And so this does a number of beneficial things, both for, you know, overall weight loss, for your energy, for your strength, for, you know, your mental state. All of these things can be improved with a refeed. So one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're dieting, especially if you hit, you know, a fat loss plateau, a lot of people will just think, you know, I just have to dig a little deeper, and they'll keep digging and digging and getting into more and more of a deficit in their calories and just keep pushing down, down, down. And eventually their body just fights back and it stalls, and it doesn't want to drop anymore because your body's smart. It likes to conserve energy. It likes to be efficient. It doesn't want you dropping below certain levels of body fat that it's comfortable at and that it's used to. It strives for homeostasis any way it can. So instead of just continually, you know, endlessly reducing your calories and becoming more and more drained and depleted and not making any progress, a very beneficial thing strategically to implement is a structured refeed. So a good kind of starting point for this would be to take one day, and instead of eating, you know, if you're eating 500 calories below your maintenance each day, to start out with a refeed, you could bump the calories up to your maintenance calorie intake. So just erasing that deficit for that one day, and have, you know, reduce your protein by say 10% and maybe your fats as well, and then add those additional calories along with, you know, that extra 500 calorie budget that you're allowing yourself. Add that in with carbs. And so the main reason you want to do with carbs is it helps to replenish your glycogen stores in your muscles. So carbs are stored in the muscles and glycogen, and as you diet down and you're training intensely, you deplete those glycogen stores. So if you can get those carbs in and refill those glycogen stores, it's going to A, dramatically increase your energy levels. B, it's going to help you look a lot more full, and you know, it's going to fill up the muscle bellies a lot more, so you look fuller, more solid, less depleted and flat and stringy. And C, it's gonna crank up your strength again as well, as glycogen is kind of the primary energy source our muscles use while we're training intensely. And so definitely a good thing to implement into your program, especially if you see a fat loss plateau. If you're someone who's, you know, extremely overweight and you're losing weight at a steady rate and it's consistent, there's probably no need to work in a refeed unless you're feeling extremely mentally exhausted from, you know, the whole dieting thing, in which case, you know, a quick mental break with a refeed may be beneficial. But this is more so something when you start getting to the leaner levels, it's something to consider implementing as a strategic, basically boost for your metabolism. So the other theory that comes along with implementing refeed days is essentially that it helps upregulate your metabolic hormones, and basically that just means it helps to boost your metabolism back up and keep it from, you know, kind of stalling and hitting that plateau. So essentially, as you know, reduce your calories and you diet down, your metabolism starts up here and then it starts dropping to try to reduce and stop that deficit, so to try to stop you from losing weight. So your metabolism drops down, and by implementing this one day of, you know, higher carbs, it bumps the metabolism back up, and then you can keep dropping a little bit more before your metabolism has time to catch up. So essentially, you know, you're dropping, your metabolism is adapting, and then you spike it up real quickly, and then your metabolism spikes up, and then you keep dropping while your metabolism is still up here, and then your metabolism catches up, and then you spike it up, and then your metabolism stays up here and you keep dropping. And so that's essentially a refeed day in a nutshell. So rather than just, you know, going crazy and eating all these fatty foods that, you know, everything you see, take a day for a strategic, structured refeed. You know, take your maintenance calorie levels, primarily allot your calories to carbohydrates and consume mostly carbohydrates on this refeed day. Another key reason I forgot to mention about why the majority of these calories are coming from carbohydrates on this refeed day, this structured overfeeding of carbs, is, you know, aside from all the benefits of improving your glycogen, carbohydrates have been shown to have the most significant impact on actually affecting and upregulating your metabolic hormones as well. Being that carbohydrates and, you know, glucose, glycogen are the primary fuel source for the body when, you know, undergoing any sort of intense physical exercise, it's a lot less likely that carbohydrates are going to be stored as excess body fat on this, you know, structured refeed day. Whereas if you have this dramatic overfeeding of fats, it's more likely that they'll be stored in your body, you know, and add to excess fat. So that's another key reason why you should get these, you know, extra calories from the carbohydrates in this more structured refeed approach. And so that's pretty much everything. I'll show you guys what I'm having for breakfast, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of the breakdown, the general overview of what a refeed is, why it's beneficial, why you should potentially consider including them in your diet and, you know, replacing the old traditional cheat day, because it's really just not very effective in comparison with something like a structured refeed. So give that a shot. Next up, I'm going to show you my breakfast, and then Tabi and I are going to head to Toronto to this yoga festival thing. I don't know. I'm not super big into yoga. I'm not super flexible, so, you know, it can be beneficial, and I'm definitely, you know, I'm not against yoga. It's definitely beneficial for those looking to improve mobility and flexibility and that sort of thing. It's just not something that personally excites me and interests me a whole lot. More so into the weightlifting and more intense training and that sort of thing. So yeah, but going to get some breakfast. Gonna be higher carbs than usual, and then we will head to TO. So peace out, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right, what's up, guys? We are in the car. Had to like scrape it off. Not fun, but just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update here. So I tracked my breakfast. You can see here if it focuses. I tracked my breakfast here. So it was a total of 577 calories. I've got the oats, protein, PB2, chocolate chips, and the banana. And now I had guessed that it would be about 70 grams of carbs, somewhere around like 35 protein and like 6 or 7 fats. But if you go in here, this is what it actually ended up being. So about 40 grams of protein, 84 grams of carbs, and just over 10 fat. So this goes to show, like, if you're losing weight, and let me just get this in focus. What's going on? There.
It's because we were bumping.
Okay, so if you're not losing weight and you're not tracking your macros accurately, this is essentially why. You know, we are really, really bad estimators, and you know, I've been tracking my food consistently pretty much every single day for about 4 years, and I was still off by a considerable amount. Now you might look at it and say, oh, it was only about 15 grams of carbs, big deal, but that was just for one meal. So, you know, if you're having 5 or 6 meals, that ends up being 75, you know, 80, 90 grams of carbs difference, which is, you know, like 400 calories difference. So if you think you're eating in a 500 calorie deficit per day, but you're 400 calories over that due to estimation errors, you're really only eating at a 100 calorie deficit, and that's not even counting in, you know, like fats being over and that sort of thing. So very, very easy to think you're dieting and think you're eating in a deficit and actually be overeating just due to estimation errors. So especially if you're someone new to dieting, tracking everything you eat, at least for the first few weeks, is going to be extremely, extremely beneficial in improving your results and giving you basically a wake-up call of how much you're actually eating, even if you don't, you know, even if you think you were eating less. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys that and give you that update. It's important to track, especially if you have a deadline or, you know, some sort of event coming up that you're trying to cut down for. If you're not tracking and you're not making progress, it's likely you're actually overeating without realizing it. So track your macros, try it out, learn how to, you know, get better at figuring out what sort of amounts of protein, carbs, and fats are in each food, and you get a lot better results. So that's my little update for now. We are on the road. Oh God, it won't focus. On the road, and as you can see, it is not very nice out. So we're gonna have to take our time heading to Toronto. It is 10:26. So we will update you again when we're a little bit closer.